Oh, wow.
Wow.
Kai. Wow. Oh my
Wow.
God. Just
Wow.
wow. That's
Just
all we
wow.
wow. Guys, come back for more wows.
Yes. Come back. Okay, wow.
More wow.
Okay,
Damn.
wow.
Wow.
Uh,
That's some damn wows. Okay, guys.
okay,
We're talking
wow.
yeah.
And that's it. That's it for this review. Because wow. Make
And in
sure to come
case
back and check out our other. Just kidding. Just kidding.
And
But wow.
if you didn't know already, we're talking about the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian episode called The
Yes.
Rescue. And this episode was a whopping 45 plus minutes. And man, do we got a lot to talk about in this episode.
Yes. Because
Woo!
wow. Because wow.
Damn wow.
Yeah, just so y'all know.
Wow.
Wow. So this episode was called The Rescue.
hmm
Like Tina said, this was a season finale for
hmm
season 2.
Yes.
Um, and it was called The Rescue.
Which we know. Who were we rescuing, hon? We were rescuing Grogu.
Yes.
And I
Baby
was.
Yoda, Grogu, the kid. So amazing. So first of all, though, the team.
Oh,
The
yeah.
team just putting it together, just that time frame of putting it together, going to get Bo-Katan, Boba Fett fighting in the actual bar. Like I was like, okay, Star Wars and bars and fights. And I remember you had mentioned to me that it was basically uh, a western
Yes.
in the
Space.
like in space. So I actually didn't know that. So when I even watched Star Wars again, I was like, oh my god, the way he holsters his gun, Han Solo, the way they're having a shootout in the bar. I was like, oh my god. Tina had it so spot on because I was never like a huge Star Wars fan, but I loved Star Wars. Um, but when they were putting together that rescue team, Bo-Katan was like, nah, well, maybe.
Well, maybe he's
Okay,
a
if I do it, then you join us and blah, blah, Oh, but there is one condition. I get you know what I mean? So just
yeah.
building the
He's
team.
like, I don't give a freaking anything. I'm just there for the kid. You can have
Right.
the ship. You can have the
Yeah.
treasure. You can have everything. He's like, I don't care. I just want the kid. That's all. We don't
Right.
care.
Right. He was like, whatever. And then just just them talking back and forth to each other. She's like, "You're a disgrace to your armor," and he's like, "Oh, this is my father's armor. Oh, you're not Mandalorian. I never said I was." You know what I mean? Like there was just, I was like, "Oh,
Right.
this team is," and of course, Bo-Katan is awesome from the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
But I still can't believe how Ming Na Wen is just the perfect Fennec.
She is
Seriously,
absolutely fabulously perfect. I
so
just
perfect.
love I just love her character, period. You
Right.
know, she's got no nonsense.
Nope.
No nonsense. She shoots and she's accurate
And she
and
hits.
and she hits every single time.
Every single pew, it hits. It hits. It's not even like on the shoulder. It doesn't graze them. It like, forehead, heart, neck, like it goes where it's supposed to go. But so what did you think when they planned that whole thing of, okay, so Boba Fett, you chase us, make it look real,
Yeah,
try to chase us, and the girls, the ladies were in the oh, that's not the TIE fighter, that's the other ones that came out.
the transport.
Yes, the
Yeah.
transport. And so, and I was very intrigued. I've always wondered how the TIE fighters are released.
hmm
Did you not like that? Like
Yeah,
they literally showed, they're like, okay, connect here, shoom, connect here, shoom.
it
Like it was cool.
reminded me of Battlestar Galactica a lot with
That is true.
yeah, with how it was sent down with both.
Right. Yeah. But I did find that cool because I was like, oh well, most, in Star Wars you just see a whole bunch.
You just see them
coming
coming
out.
out. You don't see
Yeah,
them
you don't
lining
see
up
the
and being
process.
dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I thought that was cool. But then, oh my God, this was like the third wow was the ladies getting the job done. Like they just, they're like, oh, put your and I'm assuming it's stock footage or not stock footage, but you said there's how there's the voices,
The sound stock
the
footage.
the
Yeah,
stock
yeah.
sound.
Like,
Like I was like,
yeah.
and even like put your weapons down. It sounded like
Hmm.
the original Star Wars
Hmm. Hmm.
stormtroopers when they did that. So I was like, oh, now I hear it everywhere. But yeah, and they just come out. They're like, nah, we'll just shoot y'all. I thought it was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Send in the ladies when you want to get things done. Please don't leave hate comments. We all know it's true. But
You
yeah,
want
the ladies
something done,
kicked
send in the
ass.
ladies. They will get it done, and they won't leave any traces behind. Or
Yeah.
well, or they'll just leave the bodies on the floor. So the bodies on the floor.
Yeah. I totally thought that was funny. They're just walking over them, pew 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 pew. That's awful sound effects, by the way. But yeah, they just killed it. Killed it. And that was a lot of fighting.
Mhm.
Like I swear it was most of the episode. Like it was
Yeah.
all action.
Oh
So I was
yeah.
like, I am down with this. I am so down with this.
Well,
You know?
Star Wars is mostly is a lot of action, fun, swashbuckling. If it didn't have battles like that, and if there weren't lightsabers, battles with stormtroopers, space fights, it wouldn't be a space opera, or Western in space. So,
True.
we gotta have
True,
that.
true, true. But I think yeah, the action scenes, the fight scenes, the fight choreography, the shooting choreography, because I know a lot of it is, taught. So it's not just, oh, there's that actor, there's that stand-in, shoot him. Like I know there's strategic choreography to that,
Mhm.
and I loved it all. And then when Mando walks out, of the
He's like,
transporter, he
I
just
want to. I wanted to
quietly.
have a recorder playing his little song.
I was expecting that too. Yes, I was expecting his theme song to be played as well. But yeah, and he's just kind of because their plan was they would be the distraction.
Mhm.
He
And then
would.
he goes in the shadows and he
Yes,
just kind of sneaks
yes,
in.
yes,
And then he did it. It worked kind of.
kinda. It worked kinda.
Kind of.
I love it because he had already, set off the dark troopers to, already start loading because, the
Must,
doctor said that it takes a few minutes for them to upload.
right.
Um, so yeah, but I just thought it was cute because he totally gets there late.
Hmm.
Totally gets there late, and they're like already ready to march out, and
He's
he
like,
puts in
shoot. But I didn't. He underestimated. They underestimated the intelligence of those androids.
the dark troopers, right,
Yes,
right,
because they were really, I mean, as these dark troopers go for androids in Star Wars, they almost seemed as intelligent as almost like a protocol droid. I thought, because
mm,
because they were adapting, because usually because
very much
learning
so.
and adapting, because when you were watching um in the prequels, during the androids, the android war, before the Clone Wars movie, in the first one when they had all the android battle groups, they had one thought and they're just releasing them like drones, right? And they had like a hive mind,
Mhm.
kind of, and they just had one directive, and if it didn't follow the directive, they got broken and just confused. It seemed like each individual one, they had this mission, they knew it, and if they didn't quite work, they adapted immediately
Yes,
and
yes,
had a, you know,
yes, yes, and I just I don't know. It's still I'm still in wow.
mhm.
So we're trying to break it down into words, but it's basically just wow.
Wow.
And then seeing Moff Gideon holding that dark saber over baby Grogu, over
Mhm.
Grogu, I was ready to bitch slap him. I was like, bitch, have you seen Grogu eat biscuits? Have you seen him be cute? How dare you?
Oh, but he was having so much fun in that role. I could tell. I mean, it's like Moff Gideon. I was like, he's kind of like a funny villain. He's got the traditional mustache swagger of
Yes,
a villain.
yes.
Like, I'm bad, but I'm having fun while doing it. He's trying, but you're like, I was smiling at him the entire time. I'm like, oh, you're cheeky. You're
Oh,
really
totally.
you're really intelligent and you're cheeky.
Yes,
And then
yes.
then he's like, well, I know when I'm beaten. Ha ha ha! You can have him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I hated him even more for that.
Yeah.
Like when he like totally struck from the back, I was like, "Oh, bitch." I was like, "Oh, this asshole. Oh, he a dick. Oh, he plays it well. Oh." So I thought it was uh he irritated me.
I enjoyed
But in a good way.
I enjoyed him as a villain because
Of course, of course.
so many, it's like Darth Vader is dark, and I just enjoyed seeing a dark villain, but there was some comedic aspect to him in a
Yes.
point where it wasn't like funny, it was like dark humor.
Uh-huh.
And I just enjoyed watching him because I was snickering at the same time. I was like, haha, I'm enjoying you, watching you being bad. And
Right,
it's fun. And
right.
and you're a chaotically giddy evil.
Yes,
He was like a
yes.
giddy evil. It was
Yes,
great.
he did so well, so well. But even their fight, between Moff and Mando, I was like, "Oh my god, like this is insane." So I do know that the dark saber can literally cut through anything
Right. And
except
that
the Mandalorian metal.
his Beskar armor. And so that's the
Yeah.
only thing that could stand out to me. You could see it getting really hot,
Yes,
but
yes.
it held its own. And I really think that if Mando did not have that armor, because when he was
Totally.
battling the Dark Trooper, he was like ramming his skull into that wall, and you could tell he was struggling a whole
Yes.
lot, and I was like, oh wow, if he doesn't get some help soon, he's gonna be out of there. And so when he was battling Moff Gideon, I was like, oh, you're more on equal footing with this guy here because your
Yeah,
armor's protecting you,
yeah.
and he is a very skilled fighter, even if not with a lightsaber, dark saber,
Right,
whatever.
right. He's
He
still
could,
skilled.
could totally hold his own and overpowered him.
Oh yeah, he totally did. And I had no idea. So when he walked into the main command center where the
Mhm.
rest of the ladies were, because they were just kicking ass. It was easy for them while he was getting his ass kicked. They were kicking their ass, and they're just like, is that it?
Exactly.
No,
They're
but
like,
I knew they were looking for Moff Gideon.
you're right.
And so when he walked in with Moff Gideon and baby Grogu, he
Hmm.
was literally holding the dark saber,
Hmm.
and I had no idea about that.
I
I
had no
had no
idea.
idea that it had to be through, you know, dismantling your like in a battle and how you have to fight it out and you have to lose or win
Mhm.
to get the dark saber. That was such an interesting fact, and I did have a lot of respect for Bo-Katan
Mhm.
because she didn't want to,
Right.
and she knew, but she also knew the rules.
But
So
Moff Gideon also knew the rules.
yes,
So
oh, he totally knew.
he totally played it to advantage. He was
He
so
totally did because he
happy,
knew
and he's
he knew she was there.
yeah, he knew she was there, and he's like, I'm fighting you, and maybe he let him beat him. I don't know. Who knows? But he knows he knew as soon as Mando beat him that um Bo-Katan, she's like, well, I don't want to. He's like, she'd have to fight him
Yep.
for that dark saber, and
Well, he
so
knew.
we know in next season there's going to be a whole. It's going to be. I think it's going to be this whole Mandalore taking over the Mandalore
Right.
stuff.
Right.
That's because with this episode, I really think. Well, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I think there's the story arc that we've been having the past two seasons has concluded this particular story arc. It's not like what I mean. We can talk about that in a few minutes, but with
Yeah.
this whole with the dark saber, I think when he was trying to give it to her and she refused it, I'm wondering if there's going to be some power struggle or he's going to be offered some sort of role that he doesn't want in Mandalore. Maybe he becomes a leader because he's holding a
Yep.
dark saber.
Yeah.
What do you
Wow.
think?
I I'm, like you said, there's a lot we can discuss later on, but
Mm-hmm.
um I think it'd be great to see them rescue their planet. I think that
Mm-hmm.
would be a great season.
Mm-hmm.
Um but knowing that they had to fight and that the fight was interrupted. I did
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like if the Dark Troopers wouldn't have returned,
Right.
like would they have fought?
Right.
Like
Right.
would they have like it did like she respected him, but at the same time there was at that moment like, okay, so what are we gonna do? And then boom,
Boom.
the Dark Troopers come back. So
And
I
that
was
was
like,
unexpected. I,
I
that was totally
yes,
unexpected because I was like, oh, they're spaced. They're gone.
yeah.
They can't.
But they
Oh,
also fly. So that's
yeah.
what I forgot too. Because I was like, when they came back, I was like, they can't fly. Oh, that's right. They stole baby Grogu. So that's what I was like, of course they're coming back. Of course. And
Of
I thought it
course.
was going to be, I honestly thought it was going to be the end of the
Hmm.
team because I was like, oh, and
Hmm.
I love Ming Na Wen. So I was like, oh, just leave them. Leave them and run away. Go save yourself. But she was,
Right.
was a trooper till the end. Um, but there were so many wows in this
Hmm.
episode,
Hmm.
and this
Hmm.
one was the biggest wow.
Oh my gosh.
The biggest
The
wow.
biggest one, because as the dark troopers are flying in, you're like, oh no, all hope is lost. But dun da da, here comes a
An
TIE fighter,
X-wing.
X-wing flying in, and it was a familiar X-wing, but I didn't think anything of it
I didn't either.
until he got out of until he removed himself from the X-wing. And I was like, oh, yes, it could be as he was fighting his way
Well, but
up.
even then, like I think they did this on purpose. But the
Of
first
course.
time he pulled out his lightsaber, you know how it was on the black and white screen?
Hmm.
I automatically went to Ahsoka because I
Hmm.
thought it was white.
Right.
But then as it kept going on, because all of them wear those long things, like that's just the
Right.
Jedi thing. And I think they did that on purpose.
Right.
Good job, John Favreau. But I think they did that on purpose because even the second time when I saw green, I was like, okay, oh wait, but that one's it's Ezra. It's Ezra. Like
Hmm.
they did that on purpose.
I was like, is it Ezra or Windu? And then I saw the glove, and then I was like,
That's
oh no, it's Luke
yep.
Skywalker.
That's
Holy
when
shit! This is a
yep.
wow! Holy shit!
But
Okay.
that's why I said there were literally like 10 wows.
Hmm.
Because you're like, oh, an X-wing. Oh wow, a white lightsaber. Oh shit, it's Ahsoka. A green lightsaber. Oh
Oh
wow, it's
no!
Ezra. Oh, it's Mace Windu. Oh my God, it's Luke Skywalker. Like you're like
Yeah,
really,
you really.
you literally just teased us like 10 different times.
And I was like, and I'm like the way he dispatched those dark troopers, I was like, damn, he is really powerful. And I forgot how powerful a Jedi Luke
Yes,
Skywalker was.
yes.
And, I was like, well, and as soon as he came in, Grogu, he's like getting up on the thing. He's going,
Touching the screen.
touching the screen.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he was communicating, because that Luke can feel people, Jedi, from very far away. He can, and you knew he could hone in on him. He did that with Yoda when he had to go to Dagobah. He knew where
Yeah.
he had to go.
Mhm.
But now that he's much more aligned and one with the Force, I mean, it's like, okay, here's a beacon over here in the Force. It's like a bright light. So he knew where to go. And also, I think with his sister, with Leia being in, this, because this took place about 5-6 years after the Return of the Jedi film. So at this
I was
point,
actually
yeah,
going to ask you
yeah,
because I was confused, and we'll cover more later. But I was confused with a lot of different order because I was like, okay, he's not old yet, but
mm-hmm,
he's not too young, and
mm-hmm,
he's in his black outfit.
mm-hmm,
So I was like, I wonder like what's happening, and Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up because I was confused. So I appreciate you clearing that up.
Yeah, so about this time, his sister is, like a general or even higher by now. So, with Kara being in a ranger or marshal with the New Republic, so they probably knew what was going on a bit with intelligence. So he probably also knew
Mm,
where they were and where they were going, because, he wasn't that low on the totem pole,
no,
at
no,
all. So he's doing his own thing, setting up his own Jedi temple. So what to be one of his very first pupils of this new temple is this very powerful one with the Force with
right,
baby Grogu.
right,
So I want to know what they were communicating because I could see some telepathy going on.
totally.
Between characters. I'm really I really want to know what was going on in their heads too.
I know. I when when Skywalker, when Luke came in and he saw baby Grogu and Mando was like, "Oh, he doesn't want to go with you." And Skywalker said, "He's actually asking for your permission."
Mhm.
Ah, I think I kind of cried.
Oh, I was like, "Aw."
I did think I kind of cried because Mando was like, "Wait, really?" So when he went to go pick him up and baby Grogu was, trying to touch his mask and he took his mask off again.
Mm.
I'm loving
I
that
think
he
he
gets
wanted to touch his face, and I think he said something to him or projected something to his
totally,
to his
totally.
to his mind.
'Cause that's how he
You know.
communicates.
Hmm.
Yeah. He communicates through telepathy and, mind reading and stuff like that. So I thought it was amazing. And then, when is that R2D2? Oh
That
my
was R.
God.
That was totally R2D2.
R2, I was like,
It was
holy shit,
R2.
this
It
is
was.
so awesome mixing today with nostalgia. Like that's just such a big thing today. And or in this time frame that we're in, people like bringing things back that are nostalgic to them. But I think it also helps tie the whole Star Wars, so they're not just like, oh, it's its own thing. I love that they can tie it all in. But yeah, when he started to walk away and Mando had tears in his eyes.
Mhm. Mhm. He's like, "It's
Uh,
not over. I'm not saying goodbye to you. You're just gonna."
I did like that he said,
Yeah.
I did like that Mando said, I will be back, I promise. Because the duo is honestly why I watch The Mandalorian.
Mhm. Oh, they are so fun together.
I don't know. I mean, yes, it's gonna be cool to be like, oh, they're saving Mando, the Mandalore planet, they're
Mhm.
like that'll be cool and all, but eh. But I honestly think that's like 2 or 3 episodes.
Right,
I
right.
don't think
That,
it
yeah.
needs to be an entire season, you
Exactly.
know? So if that could be like one of the like 2 or 3 fillers, then, and I hate saying that word fillers because they work so hard on production wise. So I need to find another word for that. But story wise, that's what I mean, y'all. Story wise,
Story-wise, yeah. Yeah, that
fillers.
would be exactly 2 or 3 episodes, maybe some politics going on, but
Yeah.
that's not the whole story of The Mandalorian. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna do his bounties, but I bet you next season, they'll have a few with episodes without, Grogu in it, but I think they'll be reunited again, you know, and
And stronger, I hope.
he'll be stronger, and maybe because Grogu actually, I believe he's the same age as Darth Vader would have been. Um, how remember when Anakin was
I do.
born?
I do.
Remember,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I do.
So they were because Grogu represents one side and Anakin represented another side to balance out the
Yes.
force.
Yes.
So and I think it's cyclical. It's like now the son of the dark side of the force, who's like is going to be training this and helping
Young light.
training this
Yes.
young light,
Yes.
because he could still go either way. He's still
Mhm.
young enough, but I have a feeling he's not going to do that because we know what happens in the future with uh, Luke and Ben Solo. So
Right.
you know, Yeah, so I want to see a story with that. I mean, they don't have to bring back a CGI Luke Skywalker. And I was like, I was staring at the effects on that. I was like, I'm like, he kind of looked like a game rendering, and I'm like,
Right.
and I was like, uh, and I'm really grateful that Mark Hamill was the voices of his own
Of
character,
himself.
you know.
Yes.
But I was just a little bit put off by the de-aging, I guess, with the CGI,
Yeah.
because when they did Leia, in one of the movies,
Return.
yeah, in
Uh, Rise of Skywalker.
yeah, well, no, it wasn't Rise of Skywalker. It was
Was it
Rogue
not?
One. It was Rogue One, I believe. Yeah, it was Rogue
Oh
One.
yes, at the end.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
it
Yes.
was
Yes.
in Rogue One. That one was a bit more subtle, but this one I was like, well, okay, I'll just have to rewatch it again just to get used to it, because we're so used to seeing these actors, a
Right.
certain in a certain way,
Right. Right. Right.
and seeing an actor alive de-age like that, it's just
Yeah.
a little bit of off-putting, I guess.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes. Yes. Wow. Yeah. The effects. I mean, I think it's awesome that we can do it, but yeah, it was great. And then I was like, you know what? And it ended like at about 38 minutes, and I was like, I wonder why it says 48 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just let it play, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, so either they're just gonna thank everybody on credits, and then boom,
All right. I was like, oh
there's a
my
post
God,
credit.
this is another wow.
Yeah, another wow. And I never thought they did post credits, so that's why I was like, I'll just watch it. And yes, yes.
And
What did
then
you think?
it totally. I was like, oh wait, he's back in Jabba's palace, and I was like, I'm like, did they get the exact same actor to play that character from
Because it
the?
looked like him.
Because it looked
Yes,
like him, and I don't. I'm sorry, guys, I can't place his name, but I was
I
like,
can't either.
but I was like, oh, he took over after the huts were decimated,
Yes.
and
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 it
it
was
was.
all broken down, and
Mhm. Mhm.
but it surprised me because, when Fennec started walking down, that's when I was like, "Wait." But I didn't know it was her either. I
Mhm.
thought it was another bounty hunter, so I was like, "Okay, this is interesting. This is it Bo-Katan? Is she trying to get more help? Like, what's going on? What's going?" Like,
Mhm.
my head was just wowing all over the place. And then when she did her thing, she just came in, pew pew pew, like nothing. Of
Mhm.
course, being amazing Ming Na Wen as she can be. And then I see Boba Fett coming
Mhm.
down. Wow. Again. Wow.
And then I was like, then he's like, "Pooh." I'm like, oh yeah, because they know exactly who he was, because they screwed him over.
Oh,
They,
they
to-
screwed him bad.
they totally screwed him over.
Yes.
So,
He was not
and when
taking shit from anybody.
she's like, pew, pew, and she's like, get out of here, girl, go, run,
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool because they
and
still have those. I was like, ugh, like, why can't she just run away? And Ming Na Wen totally just
no,
set her free.
this guy, he wanted to be Jabba the Hutt. You could totally tell the way he was sitting, the way he had that girl chained to him.
Yeah,
He was
Jabba.
trying to be Jabba the Hutt. And so now when Boba Fett, he's like, well, I'm in charge of this syndicate now. Ha ha
Right,
ha. You
right.
know? And then he's in like the book of Boba Fett.
I love
I
that
was
title.
like, I was like, because remember you and I were talking about they're totally going to do a Boba Fett spinoff,
Oh, totally.
but they didn't announce it last week
No,
during
they
the
did
Disney
not.
Investors Day. So I guess they
No,
were
they did
waiting
not.
for this. We, so next year at the same time, we have the Book of Boba Fett and
Ahsoka,
Ahsoka and the third season of
Mandalorian.
more Mandalorian coming about the same time,
Yeah,
and and
yeah.
and and the Kenobi one and
Yep.
everything. So I'm so excited, man! Wow,
Wow. So
wow,
now you guys know why we're fucking wowing. Like, it was
man!
wow. This episode was perfect.
Wow, that's our
It was
keyword.
perfect,
That's
y'all.
our word of the day. Wow! Everybody
It
learn.
is. It is. Wow.
Or
Wow. So if you
or
guys have not
fucking
seen The
wow.
Mandalorian, The Rescue, go watch it. We probably just gave it all away. So who cares? But if you guys did see it and you did love this video, we'd love to hear your comments below. Why do I say we'd love to hear? We'd love to read your comments. We'd love to read your comments below. So make sure to leave a comment and what your favorite part was with the Mandalorian season finale for season 2. And make sure to like, subscribe.
And ring that bell. Wow.
Because wow.
Wow.
Wow. Seriously.
Wow.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.